Welcome back. Well, were you able to reflect back on the story and come up with some ideas on how Beyonce could have done things a bit differently? Would you like to share? Go ahead. Yeah, those are great suggestions. Thank you for sharing. Well, let's talk to some of my friends and see what they came up with.
Hi, my name is Nayeli, and Beyonce can always write a sticky note reminder for her mom about the pickup time.
Hi, this is Jacqueline. I have advice for Beyonce when it comes to lunch. Since her mom does pack her little plastic bags with her snacks, it'd be good if she would ask her mom to pack her little reusable containers or to buy in bulk or larger quantities of snacks. That way she can save her money and she doesn't have to go to the store that often.
In the book, it says Beyonce has an apple, but she only takes one bite out of it. I think if I were Beyonce, I would honestly put it in the compost bin. But if that school did not have a compost bin, then I would either put it in my lunchbox or not take a bite out of it.
Wow, those are great ideas. Now, as one can see, Beyonce used resources throughout her 8-hour day, and depending on what choices she made, she could have a big impact or a small impact. Now, scientists have come up with a term to help describe our impact on the planet, and it's called an eco-footprint. It is the amount of land and resources it takes to support our lifestyles. Now, this includes everything to keep us alive. I'm talking about the resources that go into putting roofs over our heads, clothes on our backs, food on our table, and even the resources to get us from point A to point B. All of that is considered. So why is this important? Well, basically, the more resources we use, the bigger our eco-footprint. I like to think of it as the more resources we use, the bigger our impact. So scientists wanted to look at this eco-footprint a bit more closely. So they started looking at all the natural resources all over the planet, and they wanted to figure out how much could the planet Earth, or Mother Earth, how much could she provide to each person on the planet? So they started adding it all up. They added up the coal, the oil, the water, the trees, the animals, everything. Then they divided it by 7.6 billion. Why? Because that's how many people are on the planet. What they figured out was that Mother Earth could provide 4.2 acres worth of natural resources to each person on the planet, and that would be their fair share of resources to live on during their lifespan. Now, I want to point out, we're not even talking about the needs of animals. We're just looking at humans right now, and 4.2 acres is what Mother Earth can give. Now, for those of you who don't know what an acre is, that's about the size of a soccer field. Now, that's about 4.2 soccer fields worth of natural resources for folks to live on, each person on the planet. My question for you is, does everybody on the planet live a lifestyle that only requires 4.2 acres of resources to support it? Thumbs up if you think yes. Thumbs down, no. Some do, some don't. Yeah, maybe you're not sure. Well, you know what? Let's take a trip. All right, our first stop is India. The average eco-footprint of someone living in India is 3.0. Okay, that's a little less than that 4.2 that we said that Mother Earth could provide for us. Not too bad, all right? Next stop, Mexico, or Mexico, where my family is from. So the average eco-footprint of someone living in the country of Mexico is 7.2. 7.2. Well, that's a little bit more than that 4.2 that we said that Mother Earth can provide. It's okay. What about Russia? Let's visit Russia. The average eco-footprint of a person living in Russia is 14.1. Okay, a little bit higher than that 4.2. But you know what? We're learning. We're trying to figure this out. Cool. Okay, what about Vietnam? Let's visit Vietnam. What's the average eco-footprint there? Well, it happens to be 4.2. Okay, so they're kind of meeting the mark right there. Wow. Well, I bet a lot of you are wondering, what about us? What about people who live in the United States? What's the average eco-footprint? Well, in order to introduce that number, I need a drum roll. Ready? The average eco-footprint of someone living in the United States is 20.4. Wow, a lot more than that 4.2. In fact, how many times more? That's right, 5 times more. So scientists were a little bit stunned too, and they thought, well, if everybody in the planet lived like the average person in the United States, what would that mean for us? What would that mean to the planet and our natural resources? And they did the math, and they realized that if everyone lived like someone in the US, or excuse me, the average person in the US, that it would require 5 planet Earths to support their lifestyle. And how many planet Earths do we have? 1. So we need to make some choices or some changes. So here's my question for you. What can we do at home or at school to shrink our eco-footprint? How can we lessen our impact? Don't think too hard about it. You practice something every day at home and at school. Usually there's a separate bin for it. That's right, recycling. Recycling your materials is one thing we can do to help shrink our eco-footprint. Can you think of anything else?
How about the next time you brush your teeth, make sure to turn the faucet water off while you brush to conserve water. Got a backpack or some clothes that are tearing? Try to repair them before getting rid of them. Sometimes all they need is a needle and thread. Got an overripe banana? Repurpose them by making banana nut bread. If that doesn't work, try recycling them in your compost bin or curbside food waste bin. Reduce your trash by avoiding disposable plastic like straws and forks when possible. Refuse or say no to unnecessary plastic, or pack your own utensils in your backpack. Instead of traveling by car, find opportunities for you and your family to walk, bike, or even skateboard together to reduce emissions going into our air. What action can you take today to shrink your eco-footprint? Connect with your family or friends and share your ideas. Check out our student video guide for post-video activities, or join your classmates in the Eco-Footprint Classroom activity. Thanks for watching Earth Choices. I hope to see you again soon. Take care.